Well, it's hard to get your head around this. I mean, that you have a sitting deputy prosecutor, chief of police wife, who calculates this kind of a fraud to lie, commit perjury in front of a federal grand jury, to lie on federal documents, to use different colored pens to fool people. It's just hard to believe. And based on what I see from the government, they can trace checks from this trust account right into Kealoha's checking account. And from there, in some instances, to pay her mortgage. In some instances, just to buy things for herself. It kind of boggles the mind that first that a lawyer would do this, that a trustee would do this, and a guardian would do this to young kids. I just, if this was a book, you wouldn't believe it. It'd be just pure fiction. You can't believe that this could happen. And these kids are shook up.
What is your client thinking after the fact? That somebody they trusted, somebody that they're related to.
Well, it's funny because when he came to see me and I was going through papers, he stopped me. He said, wait, what are you having me sign? Because the only lawyer he ever dealt with stole from him. So even with me, I went through everything, and he was very careful as to what we did and what we said. But he still can't believe it. But his mom is safe, and that's the most important thing to him and his sister. But they're labeled as victims by the federal government, and we expect to get their money for them out of the house or any of the proceeds the Kealohas have. This is really bad. This goes to the very heart of our system of justice. Committing perjury, and you're told to commit perjury, or at least suggest you commit perjury because your mother's going to go to prison if you don't. It's pretty horrible.
Can you tell us at what point did Mr. Taito decide that he wanted to plead guilty to this, and why?
Well, I mean, when he actually found out that his mother didn't get his money and that he had committed this kind of a crime, they came to see me. And they were really upset. They were really shook up. And he has told me it was never a situation where if I cooperate, what happens to me? It was never like that with us. It was, I'm telling the truth. If anybody asks me what happened in this case, I'm telling them. And it's not like, what do I get in return? I mean, people I represent, if they're going to cooperate, they want to know what they're going to get for that. What's the quid pro quo? Not with him. He wants to tell the truth. His sister wants to tell the truth, and they're going to.
When did he realize that?
Well, I think when it came out that the federal government was looking for him, and then he found out that Mom never got the money, and she told him he never got the money. I mean, she made him suspect their mother because their mother had drug issues. So they were looking at a mother who stole their money. And they said, you know what, she's my mom, she can steal our money. And to put those kids in the position of thinking their mother, because of a drug addiction, stole their money, and then turn out their guardian lied about the whole thing. I mean, sophisticated people would have a problem getting over that. These are kids.
No, okay.
And as they grew up with limited education, it was like, wait a minute, what really happened here? It's hard to believe.
Can you explain the relationship? You said that Kealoha was like an auntie to him.
Well, it's local stuff, Yeah. She professed that she really cared about them. She cared about the mother. She cared about the kids. She was always anti-Kathy. I mean, if he would have read his statement today as to taking responsibility, it's anti-Kathy. Anti-Kathy this, anti-Kathy that. I mean, I just, in years and years of doing this kind of work, I've never quite seen this. And of course, this is our side of the story. I can guarantee you she's coming in, she's going to have a whole different side of the story. But it's going to be hard to explain checks that go from a trust account to her personal account, from that account to pay bills.
So you think further charges or further investigation into charges are likely?
What's coming down the pike, what you've seen so far, the charges against she and her husband, what's about to come, unfortunately, is going to make national news. I mean, the whole country is going to look at the potential for a prosecutor's office maybe getting charged, and I'm going to name names. What's coming now makes what's in existence now pale. There's stuff coming down that the entire legal system is going to be ashamed of.
Can we back up a little bit?
Sure.
How and at what point did Ransen and his sister realize that Kealoha was deceiving them?
Well, I mean, until she met with them and said they're looking for you. It was like, what do you mean? Well, they want to talk to you and you need to sign papers saying you got your money. Well, they know they didn't get their money. Well, we gave it to your mom. I had to give it to your mom. And they were suspicious of their mother, and they realized they were lying about the fact that they got their money. It's very disturbing to them. So they finally started to sort it out, and they came to see me, and we went through everything. So it was, I mean, the reckoning of seeing that they were lied to from the beginning by Auntie Kathy. I mean, someone that they cared about. They thought that she really cared about them. So it's been really bad for them.
When Kat said your mom may go to jail, I mean, that wasn't just a statement, too. She's a prosecutor. Was that also availed?
Oh, no, absolutely. She brought them to her office. They go and sign stuff at the city prosecutor's office. I mean, how could they not believe that a prosecutor is lying when they say your mother may very well go back to jail? Their mother had been in jail for a short time before because of narcotics. And they got to figure the money she got per Kathy, she used for drugs. I mean, she went through everything she got in the settlement, the mother, in short fashion, because she had an addiction. She's been clean and sober for a long time. She's doing great. But, I mean, they pit the family against each other, she did. Besides stealing their money and doing something to our legal system that's unheard of.
No, I mean, just to clarify, you can almost say that's a threat that I could prosecute your mom. Did they take it that way?
Well, I don't think the thought was that I was going to put her in jail. The thought was that she could go to jail, and they go to the prosecutor's office. There wasn't a doubt in their mind their mother was going to go to jail for taking their money. Not a single doubt. And there was nothing they would ever say or do to make that happen to their mother. My sense is, if they went in front of the grand jury today, believing their mother got the money, they would lie again. That's my sense. There was nothing they would say or do to make their mother the target of another investigation and the potential for being prosecuted for stealing their money. They would do it all over again if they thought the outcome was going to be their mother going to prison.
Is there any likelihood that your client will actually get any prison time for this? Or?
You know, they are named by the government as victims. And they start off as children and they become victims as they get older. So the crime itself goes to the core and the heart of our system. Perjury, lying, especially in front of a federal grand jury. But the mitigation in this case as to how and why it happened is overwhelming to me. And of course, I think you all know that when you see how this is going to play out, there's no way that they're not going to go in front of another federal grand jury to say what happened and what she did. And there's no way they won't testify at trial if they're asked to, if Kathy decides to go to trial.
So this is obviously part of the larger picture.
Oh, yeah. You know, you think about the hub of a wheel and the spokes that go out. These are some spokes in here. There's plenty of spokes on Kathy Kealoha's wheel, where she's the hub. There's tons coming, and it's going to be embarrassing to the system.
Why do you say it stretches out to within the prosecutor's office?
Well, I mean, they went down to the prosecutor's office. There have been assistant U.S. attorneys who've brought deputy prosecutors to the grand jury. They've already gone in front of the grand jury. Kanashiro's been in front of a federal grand jury 3 times. And whether they just want to ask him a few questions 3 times, to me, doesn't make any sense. I mean, you go in 3 times, you should have a lawyer at least the 2nd and 3rd time. I can't tell you who's getting indicted, but there's plenty of people that are getting indicted in this case.
What about the actions of attorney number 2, who's named in?
You know, that's what started her preparing false documents. This guy's an ethical guy, and he wanted to know about the money when they were 18 years old. And he kept asking, he wasn't getting any answers. So finally it looked like he was going to go to court. So she had the kids come down and sign phony documents saying they'd received all of their money. She filed it and sent it to him, so he was good with it. This guy would never dream, and no lawyer would dream, that a guardian, an assistant prosecutor, a deputy, would do this. So as soon as she got the letter or the document signed, she had phony notaries done. I mean, it just pales in anything I've seen in a long time.
How much money have Ransen and his sister actually received from that settlement?
My guess is $24,000 of the 160 some. You know, she kept them going, $100 here, $100 there, just to keep them going.
24,000 each, or
no, total.
I think Nick was asking about the attorney. She sent the documents.
Well, no, I don't want to mention his name. That's attorney 2. Yeah. My memory is, right. But I'd rather not say his name. Oh no, this guy's up and up guy. I mean, he started the ball regarding where is the money. Show me where you gave the kids the money.
No, not him.
That's
the
attorney
other
1.
Oh no, now the other guy who went to the grand jury.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of her dear friends. He's a deputy prosecutor. He was on Kauai. He's been here. I don't know if he's been removed from the office for other things or what, but they never met him until they were in front of this building. And what he said to them, I'll wait to see what they're asked about in front of a federal grand jury. I don't want to say anything about him that may be criminal or not. I don't know what he was told by Kathy, but nothing would surprise me as to what she said to him. But nevertheless, he represented two people he had never met before, had never spoken before, and what he knew about the case he was told by Kathy Kealoha, which in itself is scary.
What about Ariana? Ariana, does she face any
No,
charges?
no. The things that her brother signed, he signed a number of documents that were under oath. She did not. She works for the federal government, and she's free and clear. But both are committed. They'll testify to anything, any proceeding if they're asked questions. They're going to tell the truth all the way through.
Mike, what is your client thinking of Catherine? What are their thoughts on Catherine Kealoha today after she took their money and had them lie before the grand jury? What are their thoughts?
Well, I mean, it kind of doesn't put your head around it. They just can't get it. How could anybody be that way? And I frankly read him an article about psychopaths. And I read to them how people are, and she fits exactly into that definition. And it's very, very sad. People that are like that have no conscience, and that's how they get through life. People would never believe someone would act like that or do something like that. It's impossible to hurt people like that. But people that have that disease could care less. They get through life going from one person to another to another. It's called The Mask of Sanity. It's an incredible article, and it deals with psychopaths. And I believe she is. If what they're saying is true, I believe she is.
He obviously got a little emotional in court today. What did he say to you after once he left?
Well, he was kind of wet and from perspiration, and he certainly was frightened. But I think getting a lot of this off of his chest and being able the first time to speak the truth made him feel a lot better. Now he's in the system, and we'll wait for him to be called to the grand jury or to a trial court and see what happens. Kealoha is going to have her own spin on this, and we'll see what she says.
Did they know Catherine Kealoha before the guardianship case?
Kathy Kealoha represented the father in a medical malpractice case, and they settled the case, and they have some brothers that got money that were adults. The mother got her money as the mother, but theirs, because they were 10 and 12 years old, they went into trust accounts that she set up. She was the guardian, and then she started taking money out month to month or after that. They traced every dollar where it went. I mean, it looks like the chief of police party, when he became chief, they paid for. It's kind of amazing. But they weren't even invited.
Yeah, but the family didn't know her before.
No.
Before the malpractice.
As far as I know, I don't know how she got selected to do the malpractice case, but she settled it and then became a guardian. I mean, highly trusted in this community. How could she not be trusted? Chief's wife, a supervisor at the city prosecutor's office. How could you not trust her? So that's what it is. What else you want to know?
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Let me just ask you guys. You know, he's gonna come out. You guys are gonna be okay with him just to let him go? I mean, he's not gonna answer any questions. I don't mind you filming him.
Yeah, we'll film.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
just film him.
No, he understands.
If he doesn't.
Thanks, Michael.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
All right.